Mark, Combs' attorney just objected. Can we have a sidebar? Sidebar. Whoa! She just testified that she was told that if she fails the lie detector test, she's going into the East River. You know how scary that is? Having these goons take you to a warehouse, 1710 Broadway. At the time, it was being fixed up to a sixth floor, and then brought into a room, door locked behind you. You got this heavy set man that's 5 times as big as her, chain smoking, and saying, "Oh, Capricorn, sit down. You're going to take a lie detector test. I'm telling you, if you fail this lie detector test, we're throwing your butt in the East River." That's what we're dealing with. It's like the Godfather. Who is this heavy-set man? Yeah, that's what they're dealing with here. It's Diddy's goons, man. He has an operation. The same person testified. David James said the same thing. Lie detector test. They had to take a lie detector test. They were accused of stealing jewelry. So Diddy's so paranoid, and maybe he even just uses that as an excuse
good,
to
baby.
lie
Hope
detector
you are.
employees up by using the jewelry ruse.
In here folding clothes, girl.
Jewelry gets missing. You have to take a lie detector test to try to understand the minds or justify making these people take lie detector tests because he wants the most loyal people to him.
How you feeling?
Jonathan said, for the heavy set impersonation. But this is big. This is showing a mafia type of operation, man. No employees should be locked in a room and taken around by bodyguards. She's hired to work for him. Just like the other
So
ones.
as it's coming through the courtroom, he's updating us.
But David James, it's echoing what David James said.
They just mentioned 50 Cent
Lie
name.
detector test. Yeah. And if she doesn't pay, how do you think she's feeling? Probably all nervous and everything like that. Some people could be not guilty and fail a lie detector test. They're not reliable per se. I guess it depends on who's doing the questioning.
So Diddy's finding out a lot of people were stealing from him. They said he had a gun. Pow, sorry.
Of being grabbed up by a giant man or his goons.
Because he was having problems with 50 Cent.
Scary stuff. Sidebar. They're discussing this. Mark objected. Can we have a sidebar? Mr. Steiner, you may proceed. All right, she goes on to say, what was his demeanor? Capricorn Clark says, very serious. I was terrified. Did you want to take the test? She goes, no. I was afraid. How was the test? Wires on you and they questioned you. Did I steal? Maybe he's worried about, having things stolen from him. This is wild, man.
He was missing jury.
Stuff. Literally. Continuous coverage of the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. JLR investigates. We'll put a different feed up here shortly. We got the skyline right here while Capricorn Clark takes the stand. So we'll keep switching the feeds up. We'll put it up here in the skyline since this is in the New York City, the City of Lights. Oh, and Capricorn Clark is bringing the light. She was subjected to having wires on her, man. Did he tell you the results? He said to calm down, that he couldn't get a good reading. And he might have to just throw me in the East River. Whoa.
This is crazy.
He said calm down, that he couldn't get a good reading, and he might have to just throw me in the East River. Dude, they're making her take a lie detector test. She's all stressed out. They're telling her to calm down. And down, we're just going to throw you in the river anyway.
They were scaring her.
Anyone else in the building, not to my knowledge, were you allowed to leave? No. Paul said no. Boom! That's kidnapping. That's kidnapping. She just testified under oath that she was not allowed to leave. Kidnapping. Right there. Boom. And this is probably only the one of many kidnappings that Capricorn Clark was subjected to. Because we're going to hear more about the Kid Cudi break-in.
All the time, see?
So,
all the time, friend. Just me and you.
Was kidnapped.
It just be me and you, girl.
Right before our eyes. She's taken by Uncle Paulie to 1710 Broadway to a 6-4 and forced to take a lie detector test, and if she doesn't, she'll be thrown in the East River. Or she fails it, she'll be thrown in the East River and told she wasn't even taking it properly and she was going to be thrown in the river anyway. And she couldn't leave. This is crazy. Now,
they be overreacting some damn times now. Come on.
It takes an experienced attorney to protect you.
Recall? I think that's where they're going to go in their route there. What did Paul say at the end, Paulie? That he'd come back the next day to figure this out. We started again another lie detector test in the same location all day. Were you free to leave? No. How long did this go on for? 5 days, she says. She'd take a lie detector test for 5 days. And she was forced to take a lie detector test for 5 days. Are you kidding me? She was held against her will for 5 days and forced to repeat it day after day after day. Oh my goodness.
Me too, T.
Doesn't get any worse than this.
Me too, girl.
5 days she had to take a lie detector test. And pretty much if you fail it, we're throwing you in the East River. How far was the East River from there? They would have done it. They would have done it. We'll go back a little recap. CNN just put an update. Combs accused Clark of stealing jewelry. She testifies. One time, Sean Combs accused Capricorn Clark of stealing diamond jewelry that was on loan to him from a jeweler. Clark had been assigned to hold the jewelry as they traveled from New York to Miami. She realized the holding bag the jewelry was missing. She realized the bag holding the jewelry was missing before they got to the airport. Combs went on to Miami, leaving Clark with a security guard who questioned her for hours, then searched her apartment, Uncle Paulie. The next day, Uncle Paulie picked her up from her home and left her in a locked, vacant office space with another man who administered a lie detector test on her. Clark testified that that man told her at the time that if she failed the test, they were going to throw her into the East River.
No, not yet, girl. I don't know what I'm gonna wear.
She described him as very wide, but never learned his name. Hope it wasn't Big Pun. I mean, who could be 5 times as big as her? Anybody know who this lie detector test big man is? Does anyone have any idea who this person could be? What's the rumor? What's the talk out there on the streets? Who is this giant linebacker man that's 5 times as big as her? I'm reading the chat. Somebody said Fat Joe. I mean that's how I thought it, but Fat Joe, Big Pun, Terror Squad, somebody, but it's truly doubtful it's them or any of them or that crew. But who's the big person? Somebody said Fat Steve. Yeah, but this is crazy. She literally was forced to take a lie detector test for days. They couldn't get it done right, so she was forced to stay there. Were you free to go? No. How long did this go on for? 5 days. Did you tell anyone where you were? No. I was just trying to survive. I worked under an NDA. Combs' attorney Mark. Objection! Judge says sustained. Jury should disregard the last answer.
This is a mess. Messy ass trial.
She said shadowing Combs. That's my job. What happened after 5 days? She said that I could return to work, that Mr. Combs would see me the next day. Did Mr. Combs ever discuss it with you? No. Why did you continue to work with Mr. Combs?
Right.
She goes, if I left, they would think I stole. So her excuse for staying, now I think that's kind of a weak excuse, right?
Exactly.
She's basically saying, well, I continue to work for Combs afterward because if I left, they would think I stole. Now, I thought she was going to say something about coercive control, and it could be a form of coercive control, too.
Yeah, she should have said that.
She didn't want these people to think maybe she was in fear, like trapped in. If they thought that she stole, then she could be hunted down, killed, or whatnot. What were your days like? Capricorn Clark says, from his townhouse at 74th Street and Park in the morning to Diddy's house studio at night. How much sleep did you get? Here we go. 4 hours. 4 hours. That's how he treats Capricorn Clark. Well, what did David James testify? He worked 20 hours days. 4 hours sleep. 4 hours sleep. She herself testifying. 4 hours. He makes all these people, he works all these people to death. Literally. These people are forced to work long periods of time and not with good pay. She discusses her pay. On a good day, 4 hours. On a bad day, 2, she says. I got a stress condition. I was only paid $55K a year. Whoa! All that stuff. She had to work her butt off. 20 hours. She said some days she would only work on sleep 2 hours a day. You know where your mind goes if you only get 2 hours of sleep a day. It cannot sustain itself. 4, you could be all right for a while, but eventually you're going to need some breaks on 4 hours of sleep. On anything you do stuff. And I know some people probably go days and days with only 4 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep, but that stuff will eventually catch up to you fast. And you're just going to crash. 2 hours, I think you could have significant brain damage if you just get 2 hours a night's sleep. That's my opinion. At $55,000, you're going to just work. I mean, $55,000, 20-hour-a-day jobs. Might as well just volunteer. $55,000 in New York City. Cost of living in New York City. And she's only getting $55,000 working 20-hour days. That's crazy. It's not good, folks. Not good at all. All right, so we're going to continue to listen in. We'll continue to see what she says. Here we go.
Welcome back.
Did you get paid overtime?
Blue
no.
Family. Bless
I spoke to the head of human resources. She said I was owed $80,000. How did Mr. Combs respond? He ripped up the paper. Would Mr. Combs stay at hotels? Yes. With whom? Kim Porter, once a week. Oh, so Combs wasn't having her get paid any overtime, and he ripped up a piece of paper when they said she was actually owed $80,000 in
baby,
overtime.
again.
And Mr. Combs like, nope, F that. You ain't getting no overtime. What names would he book a room under? Dun, dun, dun. Frank Black, Frank White. And the girlfriends, Jackie Starr. Where did he stay? We got an Atlanta hotel. Continental Buckhead in Atlanta. Beverly Hills Hotel in LA.
I stayed there, y'all.
What were in the bags?
I stayed.
And why did he say that Kim Porter? Why did she say that Kim Porter would be here at hotels? I hope she's not going to go the route and say Kim Porter was involved in the freak offs. Is that what she's going to say?
Looks good on it, don't it?
Dude, this might be going in a direction towards Kim Porter. She flat out said that once a week, Kim Porter and him would get a hotel. And then it just starts jumping into bookings under Frank Black and Frank White. Nothing on freak offs yet, but are they going the freak off route? Are they going the freak off route?
Yeah,
we are listening. Yeah, 55K back at that time is not good. I mean, 55K, you can't get a much of 55K.
The same hotel that he stayed in, I stayed there, me and Bay, and me and my sister, when we went to Atlanta, we stayed there too in Buckhead at the Intercontinental.
Just to really survive in New York. So she's getting paid peanuts. Diddy's just forcing her to work, and now subjecting her to a lie detector test and the stress right off the rip. And almost like she's scared to leave, she testifies, because they would think that she's the one that stole and she could get killed. They already set the tone with her. They set the tone with her by already intimidating her and threatening to throw her in the East River. So they got her at that point. They got her. They got her wrapped around their fingers, more or less. Capricorn Clark, kidnapped. All right, what were in his bags? A camera, small bottles of baby oil and lube, cameras every time. What would you be doing? Watching TV, ordering room service, keeping up on sleep. Afterward, I'd sweep the room for anything left behind. Any damage? Baby oil damage to the room. Many people have testified so far about the mess that baby oil freak offs, the mess inside these hotels where they would clean up the room to stop the hotel from cleaning up or alarming the hotel maid service, so the maid service wouldn't sell the photos of the messy rooms to paparazzi or media. Now, what's going on here? She's implying that she was there when freak offs happened. Is that what she's saying too? But she didn't participate. She just kind of like waited around. She said she watched TV, ordering room service, keeping up on sleep. Afterward, I'd sweep the room for anything left behind. But is she talking about Kim Porter involved in these freak offs? Because she said Kim Porter. 1 minute report ago in CNN, grueling hours as Combs' assistant led to stress-induced lack of sleep. She said she typically worked from 9 a.m. to 4 a.m. as Combs' personal assistant without breaks or meals. Yo, listen to that. She testified
that
she
don't
would
make
work
sense.
from 9 a.m. not to 4 p.m., but to 4 a.m.
That don't make sense.
9 a.m. to 4 a.m. Do the math. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. She'd get 4 hours of sleep. 55K. Here's more about this lie detector test. That there's a summary on the lie detector test that she had to take. Combs' ex-assistant says she took multiple lie detector tests after he accused her of stealing. Goes on to say Capricorn Clark, a former assistant to Sean Diddy Combs, said that after he accused her of stealing diamond jewelry from him, she was given a lie detector test. I was petrified.
Yeah, I don't believe she didn't eat that
At one point, the man administering the test told her she needed to calm down because the results were inconclusive. I'm not getting a good reading. You need to know you're going to be in the East River if I can't get a reading on this. Oh. And she says I couldn't calm down. So she's stressed. She's forced to take a lie detector test. Guy saying basically is if you don't calm down and I can't get a reading, you're going in the East River.
We see abuse and everything,
Eventually,
but we
one of
still don't
Combs'
see the Rico
security
yet.
Guard, that would be Paulie, took her home and picked her up the next day to repeat the same process. Clark testified she was taken to the same vacant office building for questioning with a lie detector for 5 straight days. She said she didn't want to do it, but thought the lie detector was the only way to prove her innocence. She says she didn't report the incident to police because she worked under a non-disclosure agreement. Now, that's kind of weird.
Yes, that is
You
weird.
would think, at the first opportunity of escaping these goons, you'd go right to police.
Exactly.
I would have quit instantly. I don't care what they think. I'm not going to be subjected to that. Any employee to be thrown in the river. That's not normal, people, for any employer to tell their employee that they have to do this, otherwise we're going to throw you in a river. After the 5 days for tests, Combs security told Clark she could return to work. She said Clark testified that Combs never asked her where she was during those 5 days, and he never mentioned the lie detector test to her. She said she doesn't know if the jewelry was ever found. It's almost like Combs didn't even acknowledge that this thing, what happened to her, existed. Like he's playing stupid, or just keeping it like he doesn't know. He's putting in the hands. I think what they're describing is how Combs operates, and other people do the stuff for him, and he just plays stupid. It doesn't talk about it. Like everybody does everything for him. All right, let's get more into this hotel stuff. Freak-offs. How frequently would Mr. Combs stay in a hotel with Cassie Ventura in 08? Once a week. Multiple hotels. Beverly Hills, the London, the Intercontinental. For several days. The ID drips. Did he speak with you about his relationship with Miss Ventura? Capricorn Clark. Yes. Miss London was there. Chef Jordan in the other room. Jordan just got name dropped. They're setting the tone for Jordan to testify. Jordan will probably be up in a day or two. He called out Cassie over. Asked her to walk there. Hand me that. Go back in the other room. She did it. What did he say? You, B-I-T-C-H-E-S, won't do that. That's why you don't have a man. What did you say? You're mother effing right. Did you observe Mr. Combs obtain drugs? A girlfriend in New York, in LA, from One Stop, Molly, ecstasy.
Now remember that it's right out of the courthouse. Everything that he's saying, he's reading on the screen for whatever somebody is sending him out the courthouse.
Ecstasy.
So this is live.
Boom! Another employee has testified on the stand against P. Diddy Combs that she was getting drugs
See,
for him.
I was in the freak off,
Ecstasy.
honey.
That's the third.
I go to court
That's
next
the third.
week.
David James, George Kaplan, Capricorn Clark.
Woo, see.
And in South France, yes,
I
he
was
asked
there.
me to get cocaine. I said, for who? Why? I wasn't going to do it, given how my mother died. Objection! Sidebar.
But mine was consensual.
So, not only is it ecstasy, but now we also have cocaine. Oh, cocaine cowboy. Combs. Had Capricorn Clark get him cocaine and ecstasy at two different places and two totally separate